All right, so I am trying to figure out why my, oh, here we go. Flip the camera. I'm periscoping and I'm going live right now. So I'm just trying to work this thing. Okay, it looks like I did it. All right, so I want to thank you guys for getting on this training. And my name is Tanaya-Marcia Silhouette. And I do this training weekly. I have my business partners on Zoom right now listening in. And this week I'm discussing, your story. When you share your business opportunity with people, you usually lead with some kind of solution to whatever problem that you think they have. Most of the time when we have products or services in our business, we're solving a problem for people. And a good way to connect with them and to share that information with them is if they can relate to you and what your story is. Why do you think that your product or service is helping yourself? We call that our why or our story. And usually it's a dialogue between yourself and that person. Usually we call them a prospect in network marketing. And you basically explain to that person why you think this product or service will benefit them. And once again, I like to connect with that person because I want to explain to them why it benefits myself. Ooh, I'm getting some feedback on my Zoom here. Sorry, I'm dealing with three different technologies here. So I'm going to go over the four key components of your story when you're sharing your information with people and you're telling them some background information on you and why your product or service is benefiting you, and the importance of that. That way your prospect can understand, well, maybe if this benefited her, then it might benefit me too. So you have four key components, and that is one, your background. Where do you come from? What are you doing currently at the moment? And then the second part is what you didn't like about that thing that you're currently doing. What hurt you? Where have you been tested? What created that need for something different? The third thing is the solution that you found, which is tied to the product or service that you're sharing with that individual. And then the fourth part is how you feel about the future now that you've found this solution. What are you totally excited about? And, what the future looks like. And basically, that's going to tie them into making this thing real to them. Not just like you're talking to the person and you're trying to sell something to them, but you're sharing them a part of your story that's personal to you, and maybe they can relate to it. And now they'll see themselves in you and they can figure out, maybe if this helped her, this can help me. So that's what makes up a story and your why, and makes the opportunity that you're presenting to the person real, so they don't feel like you're just trying to take their money or you're just trying to sell them some crap that doesn't benefit them. It only benefits you. We're basically explaining to them, this is benefiting me, and it can also benefit you for the good because I want to help you. So I'm going to share a little bit about me, my why, my story, to give you guys an idea of what it is that I'm talking about and how I tie those four components into my story. So a little bit of background on me, and I'm going to keep it short because I'm only going to make this 30 minutes, is, I'm military. I'm prior military. I'm a veteran. I served in two branches over a span of 14 years. I served in the Marine Corps for 5 years, and I served in the Army for 9 years. I just recently got out of the Army last September of 2015. And, I'm 31 years old. I have a 10-year-old son. I've been a single mom since day one. So a little bit of struggle that I had to deal with was, how do I raise my child by myself while serving my country? And it was a struggle. It was hard. I was away from him for half of his life. I didn't see him. The relationship that I did build with him early on, it was taken away basically because I had missions I had to do, and I had to support him financially, so that meant I had to go on deployments and be away from him. And when I came back, I had to constantly rebuild that relationship with him. Even to this day, it's not, my relationship with him is not where I think it should be at this point with him being 10 years old. And that is because we don't really know each other as well as we should have known each other. You know, if I had been in his life for the whole 10 years, if I had been home for those 10 years. But I had to make that sacrifice because I had to make sure that he was taken care of financially. So I had to think to myself, is this what I want to do for the rest of my life? Is this the life that my child deserves, his mother being away from him and he already doesn't have his father in his life? No, that wasn't. On top of that, personally, you know, for myself, my passion is fashion design and modeling, which has nothing to do with the military. So I wasn't even in a career field that I was passionate about. So those were things in my life that I wanted to change. I wanted to be a better mother, and I wanted to be a better person in general, and I wanted to pursue my dreams without it affecting my son in a negative way. So those are things that I found that I needed to change. Now, one of my business partners who shared a business opportunity with me in the company that I'm with currently, he saw me for a year complaining about, you know, my finances, you know, my mother passing away in 2013 from pancreatic cancer, and me trying to pay the bills to support, you know, to support my son, and also pay bills that you know, came up from my mother's passing, all of these things. And then also complaining about how I wanted to be a better mother and be home with my son. And he knew this about me. So he shared a business opportunity with me and said, I think this will benefit you. And I took a look at it, and, you know, I had to go and do my research and make sure it was a legit company. And I'll talk about that in a different broadcast on what you look for in a company, in a business opportunity. But once I looked for those things, they checked out. You know, I met a couple other people. I met some successful people in the company that were at the top ranks in that business. And I said, you know what, this is something that can get me financial freedom, so I don't have to work this crazy 9 to 5, you know, being military. I can come home to my son. It would also give me the time that I need to spend that time with him, you know, because even if I get out the military, I'd still have to go work a 9 to 5 somewhere, and I still wouldn't have as much time with my son as I'd want. So I saw an opportunity for me to get financial and time freedom. And so now that I've been in this company a little bit over a year, I'm starting to see results, and I'm starting to see the benefits. And, you know, not to mention that the products that we have are really great for my health and for my son's health. And so when I share this business opportunity with other people, I let them know that, you know, I dealt with some financial struggles. You know, your prospects might be dealing with financial struggles too. And what I found is that, you know, when you put your money that's hard earned into something that is going to benefit you, you know, that's a good move to get you out of your financial situation. It might seem like a sacrifice up front, but we're going to spend that money anyway. So we need to put it into something that's going to benefit us in the long run, you know, our families, and bring us back home with our children so that we can raise our children the way we want to raise them. And, you know, that was my way. It was hard for me to share everything with people at first because I'm a private person. You know, I don't like to go too deep into the emotional things in my life, you know, but what I found is that there are a lot of single parents out there that are going through the same struggles that I am. There are a lot of people out there that are taking these jobs that are honorable, but at the same time, they're not your passion, but you do it because you have to take care of your family. So once I was able to understand what my story is and my why is and how to effectively present it to other people, you know, it made sharing this business opportunity a lot easier for me because I was able to connect with them on a personal level, and it didn't sound like I was just trying to sell them something. So that's my why in a nutshell. It's really quick. Like I said, I'm not going to go into too much detail because we're on limited time. But I do want to invite one of my business partners on the line to share his why. So you guys can not just hear it from me, but from somebody else who is new to the business. And, you know, I think hearing different people's stories will kind of help you when you're trying to figure out what your story is, because sometimes we don't know what our why is. We don't know exactly how to communicate that to other people. But maybe if you hear a couple of examples, it'll help you with developing and refining your why. So, Will, are you on the line still?
Yes, I'm here. Can you guys hear me?
I can hear you. I hope that people on Facebook and Periscope can hear you also. I can't see you. I'm trying to find you on this Zoom. He's on my Zoom app. Like I said, I'm streaming on Periscope and on Facebook right now, so bear with me here. Do you have your video on?
Hold on, I have to go into my settings and turn on the camera for this app.
Oh,
Real quick.
okay. All right. And I'm going to see if I can point this to my computer once I get you on the screen.
Yeah, that's right. This app. You have a Samsung?
No, he has an iPhone. Did you get it? Okay. Will? Did you get it? If you can't do it, just keep talking, cause we'll just do audio. If you can't get your video.
Okay, can you guys see me?
Yeah, I can see you. Okay, let me direct this. All right. Okay, we got you. All right. Tell us your why, Will. And Lance, can you mute yourself? Because you pop up every time you start talking. All right, Will.
Yeah, my why is pretty much, it might sound the same as everyone else's. Of course, the money aspect sounds good and everything, that financial freedom, that time freedom. But I'm also prior military Air Force. My ideal career was to be an animator, but of course, life doesn't always take you down the path that you want to go. So during my times in the military, I chose pretty much a position that would keep me out in the desert. But that also kept me away from doing what I wanted to do, which was pursue a career in animation. And if anyone who knows about art schools, they are expensive. They are very expensive. Even through the military, they would only pay like 75% of my schooling. So I worked, built a family, built a nice little career where I was at, but it wasn't fulfilling. There was no creativity behind it. There was nothing involved that sparked any type of imagination, creativity, no kind of passion as far as within me to continue to want to do what I want to do. So I lost my drive. I lost my drive to want to draw. I lost my drive to do anything creative because it was all about just working that 9 to 5 and getting that check, and taking care of your house at home. After a while, it just got old, like real old, and I wanted to find that spark again. I wanted to be able to find that time, time being very important to me, not only having time to do things that I want to do as far as illustration, visiting museums, drawing, whatever. Also time I want to spend with my children. Being able to wake up, take them to school in the mornings, picking them up. Those are some things that are important to me, and all that comes with time and financial freedom. So I was presented this opportunity from Tanaya-Marcia Silhouette, aka Boss Lady, and she had told me about it. And when I first heard it, I wasn't skeptical, but I knew that it needed to keep my interest. And I would attend meetings, I would listen in on phone calls, and I would tell myself, every time I go to a meeting, every time I listen to a phone call, if that interest is still there, I'm going to keep going. The timing wasn't right for me, but hey, if the interest is still there, I'm going to keep going. So time kept going on, time kept going on, time kept going on. And so while I was dealing with my time, every time I would go to these meetings, I would hear about timing as well. Hey, get on the ground floor, the timing. You need to get in at this time. You need to time in this timing, just timing. Everything seemed to revolve around timing with me. With my life, and also with this opportunity. So I told myself, well, I need to go ahead and get in, since time seems to be the one thing that is keeping me away from what I want to do, and also time is also being presented to me as a way of an escape. So went ahead and joined, and right now I have no regrets. I'm feeling good where I'm going to go, what I'm going to try to accomplish, and I know I'm going to be where I want to be someday. And yeah, that's my why.
Okay, great. Thank you very much for that. I really appreciate it. It takes a lot of courage to tell your why. Like I said, it's very personal, but think about what that might do for other people who are in the same boat as you. We are in this industry not only to help ourselves and to get us to financial and time freedom, but we're doing this to help others do the same. It should be about helping people. And I know in the company that we are in, that is what we want. We cannot be successful unless we are helping others. So it's not a selfish thing. And that's one of the things that I love about our company and about this industry in general, is that you can't grow unless you help other people. And sometimes when you take the businessy side away, I'm very guilty of that. I'm a very businessy person, especially with my approach. I'm a very aggressive, business focused person because that's just my personality. But when I do lower my walls and I do open myself up to people and just let them know, like, hey, I wasn't always happy. I have things that I want to do that I haven't yet achieved because I'm in my own way. And these are the changes that I made. And these are the sacrifices that I made in order to get myself and my family and my friends and everyone that I care about to a better place. And you can do it too. This is how you can do it. Some people may want that change and they might see the vision that you're showing them, but they might not think that they can do it because they might think that they're different, they're too whatever, and you don't understand what they're going through. But then when you explain to them where you come from and what you've had to go through, they realize that you guys have been through the same thing. So you never know who you can touch, and that's what it's about. Now, like I said, I know I got some of my other business partners on. Let's see what the time is looking like right now. Did anybody else want to share their why real quick?
Yeah, I would.
Okay, cool. Lance, we have Lance Stevens, the Pharaoh of Fashion. I call him on the line. So I'm gonna turn this over to him so he can share with you guys the reason why he's doing this.
Okay, and I can barely hear you while I have my mic on. But anyway, my why is pretty simple. I was very impressed with the business presentation that I saw in the video, for one. And when Tanaya introduced it formally to me as a business opportunity, I was skeptical at first as well, but I had already seen what LifeVantage and what Protandem represented. So I was already impressed with Protandem and LifeVantage from a product standpoint, and I was interested in finding out more. But what really did it for me, and the why, comes from working a corporate day job, which I'm working on a night shift on. And most of my day is pretty much absorbed during the week at this corporate day job, from 1 to 10 p.m., which pretty much takes away a lot of opportunities for me to do things that I want to do in the evenings. But the from a business perspective, LifeVantage offers so much from a network marketing standpoint that I really could not refuse. So I jumped in, and I'm going to ride the wave, and it's a good wave to ride. I'm going to take this, and I'm just not going to take no for an answer. I'm going to make this work. Being in the fashion field that I'm breaking into, slowly but surely breaking into locally in Central Florida, there are a lot of prospects that I'm going to be introducing this to, as you know, and I'm working out that through my schedule again with this corporate day job. But I am going to work that out, and the models, the fashion designers, the producers, and other people in the fashion industry, I'm going to be introducing this to. So I'm very excited about that. I've actually already started introducing that to some. And we had a meeting a couple of weeks ago at our studio facility in Orlando. So my why is to break away from the traditional work ethic, the work schedule, and have the freedom to do what I love to do best, which is fashion designing, fashion shows, and designing clothes. So that's it in a nutshell for me.
That's awesome. And once again, I thank you very much for sharing that with us because, like I said, this is very personal and it's personal for everyone. And, for us to be able to break down our walls and share our whys with people is very key because you never know who you might touch. So thank you, Lance, and thank you, Will, for taking the time out and just sharing how do you connect with your prospects. Once again, there's 4 components to that. You tell your background and where you're at the moment, what you're doing. And then the second part is you tell them what you don't like about what you're currently doing, what you don't like about your situation. The third part is the solution that you found, which is the company that you're with and the system and the products or whatever it is that you found. And then the fourth part is the future, what the future looks like now that you found this solution and how it's going to apply to your life and how can it apply to those prospects' life, to those people that you're talking about. And that might be the thing that connects them. Like I said, you can talk about the science of your products if they have science, the business, you can talk about the money and all of that. But, sometimes it just takes that personal story and developing that relationship with your prospects to get them to that decision, whatever that decision is. Is this for you or is it not? And, you got to figure out what it is that they need to make that decision. That's your job when you are sharing this opportunity with them. So I'm going to close it at that point and let you guys think about that. And the last thing I will leave is if you don't know your why, get with somebody who's a mentor or somebody who does and have them help you find out your why. Because even if it's not something that you're personally going through in your life, your why might be the fact that you may have everything. You may have time freedom and financial freedom. But your why may be the fact that others don't and that you want to help them because you want them to get to where you are. And even though you were able to find it in another way, they might not have that opportunity. But if you share a opportunity with them that can get them to that point, that might be your why. So think outside the box and think about how can I benefit others as well as my family, And I'm going to leave it at that. So follow us on Periscope, Dirty Sweat Fit. I'm on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and I will do another weekly training next week, 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Have a good Sunday, you all.